Neil, you want to talk about the goalkeepers?
Yeah, I find this a very a good topic, more so because I think everyone is expecting Henderson to kick on this year. He got his chance. Solskjaer made a brave call, and everyone was saying, look, give him to the end of the year, see how he progresses. There's going to be, highs and lows maybe involved. Any of the noise you hear from the kind of old English pro ex-goalkeepers are saying Henderson's the real deal. He's going to be a future England star, etc., etc. I was listening on the radio. They were talking about the Villarreal side that they actually played their backup goalie as well, and they were saying he's in for a big call if he plays him, and he turned out to be the hero. So obviously, you can get rewarded for these calls. But in the penalty scenario in particular, I don't know. Sorry, first and foremost, I think Henderson obviously is paying from the Liverpool result, the one where he stayed in his line and he had a couple of dodgy moments. So Solskjaer flips again, puts De Gea in, and then it comes to penalties. Now, the penalties these days, they have a guy standing by with an iPad. They would know where every player hits it. They would have good data, like Sky. They would back it up, bottom left, top right, whatever it would be. It's almost in a science these days to make sure you're giving your keeper every single little advantage in the game. Now, as far as stats goes, David De Gea has saved 0 penalties out of like 24, 25, 0, and you've got Henderson, who has saved nearly half of the penalties that he's faced. It was like 8 out of 17 or 7 out of 17 or something like that. So even that, remember Willie Caballero used to come off the bench.
He was Holland as well.
Tim Krul for Holland. It was almost like a master stroke. You have this specialist penalty saver. It's a load of crap, but psychologically, it can be a master stroke. So to have De Gea in there, I mean, we've all watched the penalties. I don't think he got really near. He dived even before one of them was taken. He was in the corner by the time that your man even struck the goal. So I think that was a big call.
I don't know if you remember the World Cup in 1990, Peter Shilton, for any of the penalties against West Germany. Peter Shilton was way past his best at that stage. But I think Shilton's only hitting the ground now getting the one of the penalties. he was poor. And you kind of knew that he was never going to get to them. And when you looked at De Gea, there's them keepers, you just know, no, he hasn't got a breeze with penalties. He just doesn't know when to go, where to go.
Apparently he had a cheat sheet in his towel, and I think for most of them, the direction the penalty went is exactly where they went, and so did he. But he just didn't get on any of them.
He didn't. Now, in fairness,
most of the penalties, of all 22 penalties, most of them were fairly solid. I'd say 18 or 19 were really top penalty, including their keepers. It was an absolute bullet into the top corner. So... Yeah, no, I do. I would agree with you though as well, Neil. I wouldn't have an issue with Henderson coming on. I don't think any of the fans would have either. So it's definitely something that needs to be brought up without doubt. But ironically, he had a cheat sheet, and they pretty much all went the direction they said. Wow. And he couldn't get.
I think the one that he didn't stick to, Dave, was the one that went down the centre. Yeah, and I think that's where they kind of brought that sheet in. The newspaper loved it when they found out about it.
There you go.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking at Henderson and I'm looking at De Gea, and if you look at Alisson, you look at Ederson, you look at Schmeichel, they all have a presence in the box. The ball comes in.
Yeah.
De Gea and Henderson are very flappy. That there's no real assurance for their defenders that they're going to come out, claim that ball, and once the keeper claims it, and you get so much confidence when you have a keeper that comes out and claims a ball, calls it, and you know that he's going to claim a ball. You don't get that from De Gea. You've never got that from De Gea, and you don't get that from Henderson either. And I think that's one of the big things. I'm going to be honest here. I actually think Manchester United need to look for a new goalkeeper. So that's something that I'd be doing if I was them, because you need that presence. And to tell you the truth, I'd love to see Kasper Schmeichel at United. So we'll see anyhow if that ever happens. But they see them as the two of the best goalkeepers in the world. I'm not so sure.
There's rumours of Tom Heaton coming in, like as potentially a number 2 or number 3. But he'd be rubbing his hands going, I can take these two.